Okay, it looks like we're live here on Facebook. Today is the 21st day of Shvat, a beautiful Wednesday morning. Let's get started right away here with the Chumash. Let me share my screen so everyone can see it. All right, so chapter 19. B'chodesh hashlishi l'tzeis b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim b'yom hazeh bo midbar Sinai. On the third month, the Jewish people depart from Egypt, and on this day they arrive in the desert of Sinai. Let's look. Why does it say on this day? So Rashi says it could have said only on that day. This is this chitas is packed with lessons and things. It should have said on that day. Why does it say on this day? The Torah shall be new to every person as if it was given today. So on this day is why the Torah says that. Okay, Pasuk Beis. Vayisum refidim vayavu midbar Sinai v'yachnu b'midbar v'yichan sham Yisrael neged hahar. They journeyed from Refidim and they arrived in Midbar Sinai and they encamped there, neged hahar, opposite the mountain. Let's look at what Rashi says over here. They journeyed from Refidim. Rashi says, why did the Torah have to say twice? It already said that we encamped in Refidim. So why does it have to say we journeyed from Refidim? Obviously, we left from where we encamped last. But it repeated to compare their journey from Refidim to their arrival in Midbar Sinai. Just as their arrival in Midbar Sinai was with Tshuva, so was their journey from Refidim also with Tshuva. That's from the Mechilta. Vayichan Sham Yisrael, this is a famous Rashi, Ki ish echad belev echad. It uses the singular form because they were like one person and with one heart. The other times they might have been divided with arguments and machlokes, but this time when they encamped across from Har Sinai, they were ki'ish echad belev echad. Neged hahar, what does Rashi say? Lemizrachai. This means to its east. Anytime it says neged, it means to the east side, which means they were facing west towards the eastern side of the mountain. Pasuk Gimel. Moshe ala Elokim vayikra elav Hashem min ahar leimar kai taimar lebeis Yaakov v'tagid lebnei Yisrael. So Moshe ascended to the mountain, and Hashem called to him from the mountain, saying, "You shall say to the house of Jacob and tell the sons of Israel." So when did Moshe go on? On the second day. Anytime Moshe went early in the morning. When the pasuk says Kai Taimar, you should say it like this. It means exactly like this in this order. If you notice, the pasuk says Lebeis Yaakov, Libnei Yisrael. You should tell the house of Jacob and the sons of Israel. What's going on here? Two different things. So Rashi explains Lebeis Yaakov Elu Anashim. This is the women. And you should say it to them in a gentle manner. Matag Libnei Yisrael, these are the men. These are things like the punishments and the laws and things like that. You should explain to the men. Atar Isam, so you see over there the sensitivity to the different people that Moshe had to tell over the Torah. Pasuk number 4. Atar Isam Ashar Asisa L'Mitzrayim Ve'esa Eskam Al Kanfei Nisharim. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to me. You have seen. Rashi says, this is not a tradition or something that I need to bring witnesses to testify about what I did in Egypt. You have seen it with your own eyes, what I've done. So that's what this is something like it says, Ein Daima Re'iyah L'Shmiya. There's no comparison from hearing to seeing something. When you hear something, it's something intangible. But over here, when you see something, nobody can argue with what you have seen. And the Jewish people had seen the miracles that the Eibishter had done. Ve'asa eschem, Rashi over here. Oh, it's going to be like, we have one thing from the Mechilta and one thing from Onkelos. So let's look at it. Ve'asa, Mechilta writes, this is alluding to the day that the Jews came to Ramses, because the Jewish people were scattered throughout the lands of Goshen. So in a very short amount of time, Hashem brought everyone together. That's what the pasuk is referring to. Onkelos, however, he learns it differently. He says, "Va'atlis ischem," and I cause you to travel, like va'asiya eschem. Onkelos amended the translation of the pasuk in a way to be more respectful to Hashem. Al kanfein rishayim, on eagle's wings, like an eagle. An eagle is different than all other birds. All other birds, they carry their young by holding them under them as they fly. But an eagle, the reason why they do that is because they're worried about predator birds that can come from the top. But eagle is the highest flying bird. So it doesn't need to fear another bird on top, and therefore it carries its young on its back, because the only thing it fears is an arrow from man. So, and therefore, Hashem uses that example, al kanfei nisharim, on eagle's wings. It places them, it says, rather the arrow pierce me and not my children. That's what the eagle says. So I, God, too, did that. Then the angel of God moved, and he came between the camps of Egypt, and the Egyptians shot arrows and catapult stones, and the cloud absorbed them. So just like the eagle, he's only worried of the arrow, and he's willing to absorb the arrow so his young will survive. So to the Eibishter took us like on eagle's wings, and with the Anania Kaved, we're able to capture the arrows and stones that the Egyptians threw at the Jewish people. Targum explains it, that you brought him into my service, not to like ascribe actually a place, Eli, to Hashem, like as if Hashem is physical, but just into the service of Hashem. Pasuk Hey, Va'ata im shemaya tishma b'kaili ushmartem es brisi v'yuli skula mikala amim ki li kala aretz. And now if you obey me and keep my covenant, you shall be to me a treasure out of all my peoples, for mine is the entire world. And now, why does it say Va'ata, and now? If now you accept it upon yourself, Rashi says, from the Mechilta, then it will be easy for you in the future as well, because all beginnings, all beginnings are difficult. So do it now and it'll be easier in the future. Ushmartem as brisi, and keep my covenant, my bris, which I will make with you concerning the observing of the Torah. A treasure, a beloved treasure, like the treasure of kings, like Rashi continues, Kli yakar ve'avanim tovim, shamlachem goimzim moisai, costly vessels and precious stones which kings store away. So will you be a treasure to me more than all the other nations. Now, it's li ki li kala aretz. The whole world is mine, but the rest of the world is nothing compared to the preciousness of the Jewish people to the Eibishter. Verse number 6, Va'ata tiuli mamlechas kainim v'gay kadosh ela advarim asher tidaber el bnei Yisrael, and you shall be a kingdom of princes and a holy nation. And these are the words that you shall speak to the children of Israel. Va'ata tiuli mamlechas kainim, sarim, like princes. As it says, and David's sons were chief officers. Bnei David koyanim hayu. Elo advarim, these words, the pasuk says, Elo advarim, these words you should tell to the Jewish people. Elo advarim loy pachos v'lo yoser, no less and no more. So that's the Chumash for today. and there was packed with lessons of what the Eibster said, going backwards. What the Eibster says is no more and no less, and that so many things. We are mamlechas kain in the Goy Kadosh, something that we say is brought down throughout all the Mefarshim of how the Jewish people are a special nation, and how the Jewish people at this time, when they went to the mountain, they were ki ish echad, belev echad. They were without any fighting, and that's the only way you can truly accept the Torah, is if the Yidden themselves are not fighting. And earlier, right when we started, we said in the present, Bayom Hazeh, on this day, not on that day, because every day, it's like the Torah is new. Okay, let's go to the Tanya. All right, so we were in the middle of talking about yesterday about how the only way to serve Hashem is through joy. Sometimes sadness might bring to joy, but joy is the most important tool to serving Hashem. What about all those things that cause you sadness? So the Alter Rebbe now is going to explain and propose means of combating sadness so that you're able to serve Hashem with joy. Mihine eitza hayutza letar libay mikol eitza v'nidnud daiga mimile da'alma v'afilu b'nei chayim zayna. Good advice has been offered by the sages on how to get rid of sadness from one's heart, even from mundane things like mundane worries that everyone has of children and health and parnasa and livelihood. So, mudas zois lakol maimer Rabbi Seinu Zuchron Elvracha Keshem Shemavarach Alatayv Chulu. The advice is contained in the well-known saying, just as one recites a blessing on the good fortune, so must you also make a blessing for negative things that happen. There's a special bracha that you make for good things, and really you have to make a bracha even when negative things happen. Why? The Gemara explains it's not that you actually have to say the exact same blessing. Rather, lekabule b'simcha. This means that you should accept it, this misfortune, with the joy. Just like you accept good, something that's visibly good, with joy, so too something that's negative, you have to accept it with joy. Kigam zu zay l'tova. This is also, this which seems negative is also good. Rak she'ene niglas v'niras le'ene basar. It's not revealed, and it's hidden from our physical eyes. We can't see the good, but it's also gam zu l'tova. This is also for the best. Why is it hidden? He me olmo de iskasia shalamayla me olmo de iskalya, because this event stems from the hidden spiritual world, which is higher than the revealed spiritual world. So when something is revealed good, it comes from Alma de Isgalia, from the revealed world. And when something is hidden, it's negative, but it's hidden good, that comes from Alma de Isgasia. Shehu Vav He Mishem Havaya Baruch Hu Alma de Isgasia Hu Mi Yud K, Vav K and Yud K. So there's Vav K in the word in the 4 letters of Hashem's name. There's Yud K and Vav K. So when something is from Alma de Iskasia, it comes from a higher level of Yud K, and when something is from Alma de Iskalia, it comes from Vav K. V'zeu shekasav ashrei hagever asher tiyasrenu ka. This is the meaning of the verse. Happy is the man for whom God, but God is spelled just with Yud K. Since the verse speaks of man suffering and it only uses the words Yud K, we see that when it comes from suffering, from Alma, the Iskasia, from the hidden spiritual worlds, that's getting the energy from Yud K of Hashem's name. Let's look at this box. Man sees misfortune only because he cannot perceive that which derives from a higher hidden level of godliness. In truth, however, the misfortunes, in quotation, because it's only misfortunes to our perspective, are actually blessings in disguise. On the contrary, they represent an even higher level of good than the revealed good. Since they originate from a higher level, they come from Olam Diskasya, from the Yud K of the Eibishter's name. V'lachein Amru Rabbeinu Zechreinu Levracha ki asmeich b'yisurim aleim hakasav v'omer v'oyavav kitzeis hashemesh k'gvurosai. For this reason, our sages said that the verse "those who love him shall be as a sun when it comes out in its might" refers to the reward of those who rejoice even when something negative happens. So Hashem, let's look at this box again. Hashem always rewards man measure for measure. What is the connection then between rejoicing in affliction and the sun? Also, why are those who rejoice in affliction described as those who love God? The Alter Rebbe now explains that since misfortune is really nothing but a disguise for a higher form of good, since whenever something negative happens, it's really just a disguise for something even better, right? Something that comes from even deeper, from a hidden world. So the option as to whether it will bring man either joy or misery depends on his priorities. If he deems his physical life as the most important thing, then he will be sad. But if God is the primary concern, he will rejoice, since nearness to God is found in the greater, in measure of the hidden world, where this good comes from. So those who rejoice in suffering are therefore called lovers of Hashem, and are rewarded by being granted the vision of the sun emerging in its might. Okay, let's now continue we're going to continue as we go. We're going to continue learning this, continue on this theme. Ki asimcha hi me'avasai kirvas Hashem yosim mikol chaye olam hazeh. For when you do simcha in affliction, this stems from the fact that being near to Hashem is more dear to somebody who shows simcha, even when there is something negative. He shows that being close to Hashem is more important to him than anything in the life of this world. It is written, for your loving kindness is better than life. V'kirvus Hashem, and nearness to Hashem, he biyeser says umayla le'ein kates be'olam di'eskasya kisham chavyoin uzay v'yeser b'seiser elyoin. Nearness to God is infinitely greater and more sublime in the hidden world, for there the concealment of his power is lodged. As it is written, the Most High abides in secrecy. So what that pasuk means is, in Olma de Iskasia, in the hidden spiritual world, that is where the more closeness to Hashem can be felt. So when something negative happens, where does that come from? That comes from Olma de Iskasia. That comes from that hidden world. Spiritual world, that is. Both these verses indicate that the hidden world contains a higher aspect of godliness than the revealed world, since the hidden world is the source of seeming affliction. So he who loves God rejoices in it, for it represents a greater nearness to God than revealed good, which derives from the revealed world. Valkain, and therefore, therefore he is found worthy of being in, let's say Hashem, the sun emerging in all its might in the world to come. Shehi Yitzias Chama min Narteka, the world to come is when the sun will emerge from its sheath. Shehi mechusa by ba'olam hazeh, it's hidden right now in this world. And in the world to come, it will be revealed. So those who may have affliction in this world and still choose to be near to Hashem, because they understand that it comes from Alma de Iskasia, they understand that it comes from a source that's closer to Hashem, then later on, when it's revealed, they will, when La'asad Lavai, they will be Zaycha to Tseis Hashemesh B'Gvurasai, to being, to when the sun emerges in its full might, to be worthy of seeing it. Da'ainu, she'az yiskala alma de iskasya. This means that, what does it mean when the sun emerges in its might? That the alma de iskasya will be revealed. The hidden world will be revealed. V'yizrach v'yor b'giloi rav v'atzum l'chol ha'chaysim b'ay ba'olam hazeh u'mustayfifim b'tziloi. Tzel hachachma, shehu b'chinas tzel v'loy oira v'toiva nearest v'day l'mevin. This means that what is presently, the hidden world will become revealed and will shine forth and glow in a great and intense revelation upon all who seek refuge in him in this world. So taking shelter in his shadow, the shadow of wisdom, which is presently in the state of shadow, presently right in shade. Right now you can't see it. Right now it's the Alma de Iskasia. If those who are able to find joy in things that are right now hidden, then when it becomes revealed, they'll be able to bask in that revealed light. This is a sufficient explanation for the understanding. Whenever the Alter Rebbe says that, we know there's a lot more. But let's recap a little bit what the Alter Rebbe is, the overarching thing that the Alter Rebbe is trying to explain over here. We're trying to explain, how does one have a worldview that something negative, to still have joy even when something negative happens in our life, or even mundane things like children, health, and parnasa. When we understand where revealed good comes from and where hidden, or I would all call hidden good or negative things that happen in our life, seemingly negative things that happen in our life, where they come from, when we understand where they both come from, it can help us find the joy in it. So the things that are revealed good, they actually come from Olam di Iskalia and from a level in the Eibishter's name of a lower level. The hidden good, that actually comes from Alma di Iskasia and actually comes from a higher source of the Eibishter. When we start viewing it that way, even when something negative happens, we can see it for the good that it really is. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. It was an honor to learn with you the Chitas. Instead of learning it on my own, I'm able to share it with you as well. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.